What if I told you that scientists just proved Easter Island developed its own writing system 200 years before Europeans ever arrived? This discovery, published in Scientific Reports in 2024, changes our understanding of human achievement. Wooden tablets hidden in burial caves for centuries have revealed evidence that rewrites history. In the next 15 minutes, I'll show you the archaeological evidence that proves Easter Island may have independently invented writing, making it one of only 6 places on Earth where this happened. Welcome back to the Artifacts Detective. I'm your host, and today we're investigating the Rongorongo tablets of Easter Island. For over 150 years, these wooden tablets covered in mysterious glyphs have puzzled archaeologists. The key question, were they created after European contact in the 1720s, or do they represent something far more significant? This discovery is significant because independent inventions of writing are extraordinarily rare, only documented in Mesopotamia, Egypt, China, Mesoamerica, and possibly the Indus Valley. Today we'll look at archaeological evidence from cave discoveries, groundbreaking radiocarbon dating from 2024, how technology reveals texts hidden for centuries. Let's dive into the investigation. The first major evidence comes from the 1950s, when German ethnologist Thomas Barthel made a significant discovery. According to peer-reviewed archaeological records, Barthel found the decayed remains of half a dozen tablets in caves, specifically in burial contexts. While the tablets were too deteriorated to read, their placement with burials indicates ritual significance. Research published by Dr. Tomi Melker in 2020 confirms what archaeologists suspected. The Rapa Nui people commonly hid valuable possessions, including Rongorongo tablets, in secret caves. This wasn't random storage. These tablets were considered to possess supernatural power. According to ethnographic records compiled by the Kontiki Museum, many of the Rongorongo tablets were burned or stored in secret caves in the following years. The practice had multiple purposes: protection from missionary destruction, post-1864, preservation of sacred knowledge, burial goods for the elite, safeguarding during conflicts. French missionary Eugène Hérault's 1864 report noted he saw tablets in nearly every home, potentially 2,000 or more. By 1868, Bishop Joussen could only recover a few tablets. The rest had either been burned or hidden underground. One specific case demonstrates both preservation and destruction. The Berlin tablet, now in the Ethnological Museum, provides crucial evidence. Spent significant time in a cave environment. Cave conditions destroyed approximately 90% of its content. Originally contained an estimated 5,000 plus glyphs, would have been the longest Rongorongo text in existence. To understand why caves both preserved and destroyed these tablets, we need to examine Easter Island's unique environment. The island's caves maintain a relatively constant temperature of around 18 degrees Celsius, 64 degrees Fahrenheit, which is good for wood preservation. But the humidity is a different story. Cave humidity on Easter Island ranges from 80% to 95%, far above the 45 to 55% ideal for preserving wooden artifacts. This creates a paradox. The caves protected tablets from the island's intense UV radiation, wind erosion, and human destruction. But the moisture slowly attacked the wood fibers, causing them to swell, contract, and eventually crumble. Fungal growth accelerated the decay. The very shelters that saved these tablets from immediate destruction ensured their gradual deterioration. The Berlin tablet shows this process dramatically. One side, likely pressed against damp cave rock, lost almost all its glyphs. The other side, perhaps facing the cave interior, retained faint traces. Without modern technology, these surviving marks remained invisible for over a century. In 2021, Dr. Rafał Wieczorek's team from the University of Warsaw applied photogrammetric 3D modeling to the Berlin tablet. This wasn't simple photography. The team took over 10,000 individual photographs from every conceivable angle, using specialized macro lenses to capture surface details invisible to standard cameras. Each photo overlapped with others by at least 60%, allowing sophisticated software to construct a precise three-dimensional model accurate to fractions of a millimeter. The process took months. Every tiny groove, every weathered surface, every deteriorated edge was meticulously documented. When the final 3D model was complete, researchers could examine the tablet in ways impossible with the physical artifact, rotating it, zooming to microscopic levels, adjusting lighting angles to reveal the faintest impressions. The results, published in the Journal of Island and Coastal Archaeology, were remarkable. Thousands of digital photos created a complete 3D model. Previously invisible glyphs appeared on surfaces thought to be blank. Entire sequences of text emerged from what appeared to be bare wood. The tablet was made from Thespesia populnea, Pacific rosewood. This sacred tree grew on Easter Island itself, not driftwood as previously theorized. The wood identification was crucial. For decades, scholars assumed the tablets were made from driftwood, random timber washed ashore. But Thespesia populnea is the rosewood of Oceania, a tree sacred throughout Polynesia. In Tahiti, these trees lined the marae, sacred ceremonial platforms. The choice of this specific wood for Rongorongo tablets wasn't random, it was deliberate and meaningful. The most significant discovery came in February 2024. Dr. Silvia Ferrara's team from the University of Bologna gained access to 4 Rongorongo tablets preserved in Rome since 1869. Using radiocarbon dating on tiny wood samples, 3 tablets, 18th to 19th century after European contact. 1 tablet, 1493 to 1509, over 200 years before European arrival. This finding, published in scientific reports, provides the first hard evidence that Rongorongo predates European influence. The Rongorongo script itself is unique. Over 400 distinct glyphs identified. Approximately 15,000 characters survive on 27 objects. Written in reverse boustrophodon, alternating directions. No correspondence to any known writing system. The writing system shows remarkable sophistication, according to Barthel's 1958 comprehensive catalogue. Anthropomorphic glyphs, 30%, human figures in various poses. Zoomorphic glyphs, 25%, birds, fish, turtles. Botanical glyphs, 15%, plants, trees. Geometric glyphs, 20%, abstract symbols. Compound glyphs, 10%, combinations of above. The reverse boustrophodon system is particularly noteworthy. Readers would start at bottom left corner, read left to right, rotate the tablet 180 degrees, continue on the next line, repeat for each line. This complex reading system appears nowhere else in Polynesia, further supporting independent development. To understand why we can't read Rongorongo, we must examine the events of 1862. Peruvian slave raids captured approximately 1,500 Rapa Nui people, including the entire literate class. Pre-1862 population, approximately 3,000. Post-epidemic survivors, approximately 110. Literate survivors, 0. The ability to read Rongorongo died with the educated elite. The tragedy deepens when we understand who these people were. The Tangata Rongorongo, the Rongorongo men, weren't just scribes. They were the living libraries of Easter Island, carrying centuries of accumulated knowledge. Each master scribe knew not just how to carve the glyphs, but what they meant, how to chant them, how to teach them. The 1862 slave raid was surgical in its destruction. The Peruvian slavers wanted strong workers, so they took the healthiest adults, which included the political and religious elite. Of the approximately 1,500 people taken, only 15 ever returned to Easter Island. They brought smallpox with them. Within months, the island's population crashed from 3,000 to barely 100 survivors. Among the dead were the last people who understood Rongorongo. An entire intellectual tradition, possibly centuries or millennia old, vanished in less than 2 years. It would be as if every university, every library, every teacher in a civilization died within months, leaving only children and the elderly who had never learned to read. In 1914 to 1915, British archaeologist Katherine Routledge conducted the first scientific investigation of Rongorongo. Routledge was remarkable. A wealthy Quaker who funded her own expedition, building a 90-foot yacht called Mana specifically for the journey. Her interviews with elderly Rapa Nui informants, published in The Mystery of Easter Island, revealed crucial information. Her informant Tomenica told her Rongorongo experts were called Tangata Rongorongo. They were always men, never women. Training took years in special schools. Students practiced first on banana leaves. Only the most talented progressed to wooden tablets. German ethnologist Thomas Barthel later confirmed this practice, finding that banana leaf veins matched the spacing of Rongorongo lines, 10 to 12 millimeters for most texts. Routledge concluded the script was proto-writing used for genealogical records, royal lineages, ritual chants, religious ceremonies, historical events, wars, migrations, astronomical observations, lunar calendars. According to Dr. Paul Hawley's 2021 comprehensive study, the statistical patterns in Rongorongo suggest genuine linguistic content, not decorative symbols. Multiple peer-reviewed studies confirm consistent symbolic structure, complex ligatures suggesting grammar, patterns indicating actual language encoding. But why can't modern technology crack the code? The challenge goes beyond simple translation. With only 15,000 characters surviving, less text than in a small book, statistical analysis has limited data. Compare this to Egyptian hieroglyphics, where millions of characters survived, along with the famous Rosetta Stone, providing parallel Greek text. Rongorongo has no Rosetta Stone, no bilingual inscriptions, no surviving oral tradition. When William Thompson visited Easter Island in 1886, he found an old man named Ure Vai Iko, who claimed to read the tablets. But when Thompson showed him different tablets, Ure recited the same chant regardless of which tablet he held. He was reciting from memory, not reading. Modern computational approaches have tried everything: statistical analysis, pattern recognition, even artificial intelligence. Dr. Albert Davletchin's work identified possible grammatical markers. Dr. Konstantin Pozniakov found repetitive sequences suggesting proper names or formulaic phrases, but without knowing the underlying language structure, whether it's alphabetic, syllabic, or logographic, these remain educated guesses. The script might encode Old Rapa Nui, a language already heavily mixed with Tahitian by the time linguists arrived. Or it might encode something else entirely: ritual formulas, genealogical mnemonics, or astronomical calculations. Without native speakers, without context, without a breakthrough discovery, Rongorongo keeps its secrets. Let's recap what we've learned. Cave discoveries, tablets found in burial contexts, some preserved, others destroyed by humidity. Radiocarbon dating. One tablet definitively dates to 1493 to 1509, before European contact. 3D technology reveals hidden texts on cave-damaged tablets. Cultural significance, sacred objects hidden underground for protection. This discovery suggests Easter Island independently invented writing, a feat achieved by only a handful of civilizations in human history. To understand the significance, consider the other independent inventions of writing. Mesopotamia, 3200 BCE. Cuneiform developed in city-states with massive populations. Egypt, 3100 BCE. Hieroglyphics in a unified kingdom with extensive bureaucracy. China, 1250 BCE. Oracle bone script in a complex state society. Mesoamerica, 300 BCE. Maya script across multiple city-states. Indus Valley, 2600 BCE. Still undeciphered, but found across dozens of cities. Easter Island, 1500 CE. One tiny island, maximum 15,000 people ever. Dr. Sylvia Ferrara notes in her 2024 study, the extreme isolation and small population make this potentially the most unlikely place for writing to develop independently, yet the evidence suggests exactly that occurred. When we consider Easter Island's extreme isolation, 2,400 miles from the nearest continent, this achievement becomes even more remarkable. A population of just a few thousand people created a complex writing system without outside influence. Today, the race is on to preserve these fragile artifacts. The 27 surviving tablets are scattered across the globe. Santiago, Chile, 2 tablets. Rome, Italy, 4 tablets. St. Petersburg, Russia, 4 tablets. Berlin, Germany, 1 tablet. London, UK, 2 tablets. Vienna, Austria, 2 tablets. Honolulu, Hawaii, 4 tablets. Various private collections, 8 tablets. Conservation challenges include wood deterioration from age, previous damage from improper storage, need for climate-controlled environments, limited access for researchers. The Inscribe project at the University of Bologna is creating high-resolution 3D scans of every surviving tablet, ensuring that even if the physical objects deteriorate, the glyphs will be preserved digitally for future researchers. The evidence is clear. The Rongorongo tablets, hidden in Easter Island's caves, represent one of humanity's rarest achievements, the independent invention of writing. What's your take on this discovery? Do you think the radiocarbon dating provides enough evidence for independent invention? Let me know in the comments below. For more archaeological investigations like this, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. Uncover more ancient mysteries. Follow the Artifacts Detective and join the investigation.